Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy, and here with my husband, Noel, who has already given me a hard time this morning, but that's okay. He tells me right as I hit the go live button, he's like, can I do this? No, you cannot do this. We're going to go with our normal plan. Good morning, Josie. Hello, Trish. Southern Charm. Welcome in, everybody. Finally, it is the middle of the week. It is a holiday week. It is my last day today at my 9 to 5 for this week, so I am very excited. I have one more day, and then I get 4 days off. The Hudson House, hello. Oopsie, oops, I flipped it. I love that name. Hello, Monster Mama. I don't know about you guys, but when I have time off, like I have these 2 days coming up, Thursday and Friday, don't have to work the 9 to 5. Hey, Forgotten Memories. I have a list of like 300 things in my head that I'm going to accomplish in 2 days' time. There's no way I'm ever going to accomplish any of that. Maybe one or two things. But I think for some reason, if I don't have to go to work for 2 days, that I can be Superwoman and get everything else done. More than likely what's going to happen is I'm going to sleep in. I'm going to like veg out on my phone or do something instead of being productive for 2 days. That's kind of my feeling on what's going to happen. Hello, Rawson. Same. Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, that happens to me too. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways. I'm excited that I get a long weekend. I am going to the antique store tomorrow. Surprise, surprise. I go every weekend. I do need to decompress sometimes, but I really need to make the most of these 2 days. I need to get caught up on some sourcing. I'm going out of town for 2 weeks straight, which means 2 weeks of no sourcing for me, and that could severely put me behind. So I'm trying to plan ahead. And doing some sourcing. I will still be doing shows while I'm out of town, not next week, the week after. So I go to Dallas, come home for 1 day, and then turn around and go right back out to Florida. So I'll be gone on business trips, which I don't mind. And I still do my shows when I'm gone. And I'm actually thinking this time, chat shows are easy to do on the road. What's hard to do are the selling shows. And last time I was out of town, we did, what show was it? I forget which one? We did the Creamer show. We did the Crazy Creamer show because my flight got canceled. And yes, thank you, Southern Charm. And I got stuck out of town. And I didn't feel it performed as well. It's just very difficult to not be with your items and trying to describe it. So if you're new to me and you're like, what are you talking about? When I travel, which I do frequently, at least once a month for work, I'm gone for a week. I try to continue to do all of my same shows. And the way we do that here is wherever I am at, I log in, make Noel do the whole show. I know I should. I log into our home network. My husband has it all set up. So wherever I'm at, he puts me in the bubble. I talk and he shows items. But I'm not here physically in Pennsylvania showing the items, so it's very difficult. So I'm trying to figure out when I go out of town in July for 2 weeks, do I pack a bunch of smalls and do a show of just like minis and smalls, or don't do the selling show? So I'm trying to work it all out, trying to figure it out in my head. Right now, there was a couple shows I just did not even schedule versus having to cancel or move them. So I still have the option to add those shows in if I want as we get closer. So we'll see. Having said all that, I'm just kind of rambling. Today is our normal chat and sell. We do have some stuff in the auction tab. If you're interested, throughout the show, I'll stop and run anything that has a pre-bid on it. At the end of the show, we do have some random. So at the very, very end, I'll just probably spend about 15 minutes running things. But the main focus today is talking more than selling. If you have questions, this is like a seller support, chat and sell, seller support. Please put your questions in. I have a few notes this morning, but I don't have anything like major to talk about today. If you sell from somewhere else, do you have to change the shipping address since the cost is by distance? I do not, because since I'm normally not traveling with my items, my husband and daughter are here shipping, so it's still being shipped from the same place as it always is. But if I take minis with me, that's a good question. Probably should, but I probably won't because it's only for one time and I don't want to put a hotel return address. So, yeah, that's a good question. I probably wouldn't though. I would probably just be like, okay, it's one time. I wouldn't make it a huge show. I would try to keep it, like a small number of items. So, what is Sean saying? Watched a better half Ray Train this weekend where the other half sold items and it didn't disappoint. I've seen those. We've actually talked about doing, like, and I know they have it, the husbands and whatnot. We've talked about that ever since I first started Whatnot. We've had people have talked about it. I think it would be cool. The way my husband sells, though, he'll get on here and everything he picks up, he's like, well, that's fugly. Why would anybody want this? And I'm like, that's not, you can't sell it like that. But it does. Every time he gets on and does it, it sells. So I guess fugly sells sometimes. Does yours do the same? So Josie says, I am struggling with starting with the same value. So Josie, I am taking from that of using the way that I do things of saying everything should start at the same price. So if those of you, is anybody else feeling the same thing? Like, hey, I want to start everything at the same price, no matter what that price is, 1, 3, 5, 10. Is anybody else feeling the same way? In a miniature raid train. I don't know about that. I've been pulling back on raid trains. We're actually going to talk about raid trains a bit. I'm not against it. Send me the details and let me evaluate it. We're going to talk, I'll expand on raid trains a little bit. Okay, so a couple of people are feeling the same way. They're like, hey, I would love to start everything at one price, but I can't. What's holding you back? What is the struggle about it? Because I could talk about it, but I would rather try to talk more directly on what it is that you're feeling or thinking that you're like, oh, I want to do this, but I can't. Okay, so you feel that your items have different values. So you would, I'm guessing, you're researching each item or maybe just have the experience and you're like, hey, this should sell for 18, this should sell for 5, this should sell for 30. Fear of losing money is what you're seeing the most of when you're talking to people. Not enough people in the room to get bids. Okay, I'm going to be completely honest. The first maybe couple shows that you do where you're starting at one price, it may take a while. You may lose some money, particularly if that price is lower. It may happen. Let's talk about the pros and cons of it, because I'm never going, thank you for your purchase from the bin. I'm never going to push you to, hey, this is the only way to do things. But I do want, my goal is to, so you understand good things about it, bad things, and make a good decision. So people expect it, I think. I don't know if it's people expect it, but people do get comfort from it, whether they realize it or not. When you go into a room and everything is the same price, somebody's running everything for $1 or everything with $5, people expect you to start low. They do. These are auctions. So two different things. Let me jot it down. Low starts and starting price. Okay. They sound like the same thing, but they're two different things. So let's start with just the starting price, whatever that may be, 1, 5, 10, 15. When you go into a room and they say, one of the things we should be doing as sellers is setting the scene when people come in our rooms. We should be, hey, there's stuff in the auction bin, everything starts at $1, and I do shipping for $4.50 max. We should be letting you know what our pricing and shipping structure is to some degree. Good morning, I love discounts. Because we want to make people at ease. Think about it the same way that when you walk into a room, you walk into a party, okay? Best friend calls you over, to their house. They're like, hey, we're having a barbecue, whatever. Maybe he's not the best friend. You would know everything about your best friend. Your neighbor's like, hey, come on over Saturday for a barbecue. You're like, okay, cool. That sounds like fun. Good morning, Tober. Hey, the Vintage Gypsy Brie. You walk into this barbecue, you show up, you bring your bottle of wine, bag of chips, whatever you're bringing. You show up, and they don't say anything. You knock on the door, they open the door, they're like, hey, welcome to the party. And they kind of go off and do their thing. You're kind of left standing there like, what are we doing? Are we out back, grilling burgers? Are we in the house? Are we chit-chatting? Are we dancing? Is it karaoke time? What in the heck's going on here, right? You're just kind of left like, which way do I go? Versus you show up at that party and they're like, hey, welcome in. Hey, Bob, come on in. Joe's out there flipping burgers. Feel free to hang out on the deck. These people over here, we're just chit-chatting. The pool's open. If here's where the bathroom is. And they give you the lay of the land. They give you the feel of what's going on. Which party are you going to be a little more comfortable in? The one where you get the lay of the land. Okay? It's the same way in our shows. We have people coming into our shows. Some of them know us. Some of them already know the lay of our land. Others don't. That's why, as sellers, we need to make everybody as comfortable as possible. One of those things is pricing. So, and I know I'm going a little off a bunny trail, but I'm going to get there. So one of the things we should be doing is explaining our pricing structure, our shipping structure. If we have special rules, they should be in our show notes, or we should be explaining them if it's something that's that important to be explained. So The first thing we're doing is setting them at ease as much as we can. If our pricing structure is all over the board, how do you easily explain the pricing structure? You can say, I price based on the value that I see in an item. Just put yourself in the buyer's shoes. How does that, you're like, okay, what does that mean, right? Or I price based on what I paid. Okay, what if you suck at sourcing? Does that mean I got to pay more as a buyer? Like, it's not comforting. Your live auction is a business, same as your other forms of selling. Customers should know. Exactly, they need to know what to expect. So part of one consistent price is setting the buyer at ease. It's easy to see everything is $5. I understand. I know the minute something pops up, the price is going to be $5. There's no guessing. How many times do you walk through a store, real life brick and mortar store, and you kind of spot something out of the corner of your eye? Thank you for sharing the show. And you're like, oh, that's pretty, no matter what it is. Or you're like, oh, I like that. And you kind of get that feeling. You're just hoping. You're going over there and it's that. I'm about to flip over that price tag. What is it? And it's like, oh, and you just have all this hesitation and you turn that price tag and you're like, oh, cool, I could afford this. Now, then you're like, it goes from can I afford it to, oh, should I buy it? Oh, I really like it. Where can I put it? So you did a $5. Again, we're going to talk about like the build up to it. I'm getting there. Give me just a second, Josie. Or you flip it over and you're like, oh man, instant disappointment because you can't afford it, right? Same thing in your show. Good morning, the polish picker. If particularly if you're doing random polls where nothing is pre-listed, okay? Because I think it's a little different vibe if it's pre-listed. If nothing is pre-listed and you pull something up and you're like, okay, $2 start, $2 start, and you're talking about it, $2 start. You hold the next thing up. All right, I'm going to run this for 18. The person who about the third or fourth time they see it for 18, they're like, you instantly pick it up. In their mind, you've already anchored 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then they see 18, and it's instant disappointment. Okay? Or it could be the opposite of that. It could be, all right, this is going to be 18. This is 6. Yeah, this is 5. This is 10. Oh, I'm going to run this one for 20. They're like, whoa, wait a minute. Where's your pricing coming from? Senna girl, congratulations. You got that first giveaway. We are doing our customary CEO affirmation cards that we do for our giveaways. So if you're doing varying prices, I'm not saying don't do it, but if you are, pre-list it. Like Josie says, yes, pre-list it. We'll talk about shipping too. My husband's like red chatting me. He's like, don't forget the shipping side. We'll get there. At least with the pre-listing, it gives people time to acclimate, to look through one item by one item by one item and be like, okay, I really like that. Here's the pricing. It lets them warm up to you a little bit. Yeah, even worse is running one piece than starting something higher without even announcing it. It's just like, okay, I'm going to run this, and all of a sudden it's higher and somebody's ready to swipe and they're like, oh shoot, wait a minute, that's way out of my price range or over my budget for the day, right? So we're talking, first of all, reducing barriers to buying, making your customers comfortable, and increasing the amount of people who could actually buy that item. So that's the feeling behind it. That's the putting the customer at ease. Now, the one low price, and like Josie said, well, hey, I made the least amount of sales ever. Couple of things that come into play here when we're talking about making everything one price and one low price. The very first thing is you got to get out of the static mindset of looking at your profit item by item by item. This isn't eBay. It's not Etsy. It's not whatever Poshmark, whatever other platform. This is a live selling platform. We're an auction site. Auctions by nature have lower starts. That's the thrill of the auction. Auctions are treasure hunting sites. If I want to pay full price for something, if I want to pay absolute value for something, I'm going to go to eBay. I know just about everything that's sold on whatnot. I can go to eBay and find it too, just about everything. So why would I stay here, take my time to go into a show, to sit through a show, to wait for you to run something, when I can just go to eBay and have it done in 30 seconds? It doesn't make sense. The idea of an auction is our lower starts. Now, there is going to be people who disagree with me, and that's okay. There are people who have built good businesses on higher starts. But let's be real about what happens with higher starts, okay? Let's if you want to do it, it's fine, but let's acknowledge what happens when you have a higher start. The higher your start is, typically the less bidding, the less war you're going to get. You have shrunk your buyer pool to very specific group of people who can afford it and or want those items. That was a whole conversation in sign language. I have no clue what you just said. Okay, just use your words, please, because I'm not understanding this. Oh, okay. Well, my gosh, he just went, it was like 10 motions in one. I'm like, what the hell? Now he's doing whole conversations. Because we see other people doing it, other people doing low starts or higher starts. Which one? Low or higher are you talking about, Josie? House of Coop, because House of Coop is starting things at $1. As far as I know, last few times I've watched them, they've started at $1. You turn, well, I know, because it was legit like 10 different hands. Usually it's just one. I'm like, whoa, we've progressed here. So yeah, no, it's not bad. We're not talking bad about anybody, and particularly House of Coop. It's not that we have crazy expectations. Auctions are lower starts. Let me tell you what, House of Coop can run an item in the exact same item that I run, and they're going to get probably a far higher price than I am. This is because it is not so much about the items, it is about the experience. So first of all, we can't compare ourselves. The other thing is House of Coop. Let's just think about this, okay? And I'm not speaking bad about them in any way, shape, or form. I really want to understand, and I want everybody in the room to understand the difference here, because I hear this so often of, well, this person runs it and gets so much more, and I have just as good of items. Yeah, you do. You do have just as good of items. House of Coop has spent 2-3 years, I think they've been on close to 3 years now, 3 years building up an audience, 3 years at this. They are full-time. They have all day, they spend their day sourcing, packing, building their business, day in and day out. This is their business. They have 400 or 500 people in the room that they built up to, okay? People come to buy part of the experience. Some people, it's not even about the product they're buying. They can care less about the product. They're like, yeah, cool, I'll take that hen on the nest. But they want to buy something to sit on their shelf to say, I bought that from the House of Coop. It's no different than when you're looking at concerts. There's a concert, you may pay $1,000 or more to go see Taylor Swift, but not, to go see Joe Schmo, because Joe Schmo's a no-name. I'm sorry, some of us on Whatnot are Joe Schmoes, and people don't care how much they're going to, the experience isn't there. What's our question? I'm not an auction, so should I sell on this platform? You're not an auctioneer. You don't have to be an auctioneer. The 99% of people on this platform, I'm guessing, I don't have statistics, high 90s, I'm guessing do not have an auctioneer's license or are not an auctioneer. So if there's a couple things, you kind of, that's a whole bag of questions right there. You do not have to be a auctioneer in the sense of knowing how to run auctions. And I'm not talking about licensing. I'll touch on that. I'm talking about the physical act of being able to talk like an auctioneer. You don't have to do that to sell stuff live. You can come on here and sell stuff live without any auction experience behind you. As far as an auctioneer's license, check your local state laws on whether you need a license or not. I'm not one to tell you I don't know all the state laws. Okay. Designer dead people's junk. So it's the fact that they're buying part of that experience, part of the notoriety of who that person is. Now, do we all have it within us to get to that notoriety? 100% we have it. It's dependent on you. They have worked their butts off to get to the point they are and to be able to get the prices that they get. It happens over time. And I'm not saying this in a way to like puff myself up or anything. Like, please, I know this is going to sound very like just cringe, but I don't mean it like that. As you continue to do your thing and you focus on your business and do it your way over and over and over again, consistency, commitment, and discipline, as you start practicing all three of those in all areas of your life, your audience base will grow with you and your prices will grow too. I have had somebody who has bought from me for a long time say, I love coming to your shows and I still buy from you when I can, but sometimes your stuff is getting bid up too much for me. They're a reseller, they buy to resell. I'm getting outpriced on that. For me as a seller, that's my goal, not to lose customers, but that's my goal, is to get to a certain price point. But you have to understand that there is different customers for different points in your process and different points in your journey through whatnot. Do you think the exact same people who were with House of Coop at the very beginning are still with them? There may be some, but I can guarantee you over their journey, their audience has grown and changed and evolved with them as they have grown and changed in their business. And that is the same truth that happens to every single one of us. Okay, so we cannot compare ourselves in any way, shape, or form. And I know we talk a lot about comparison, and it's not even that like that jealousy comparison thing. It's that their experience is different than your experience. So let's go back to the low, the low starts. We understand why it makes our customers feel comfortable. We understand the auctions that they expected. Let's go to the point of, well, my items are valued at all different things. I'm afraid to start it. Thank you, Southern Charm. I'm afraid to start items because at $5, because I know this item is worth 20. You got to quit looking at it as individual. You have to look at the whole show, the whole week, the whole month. It is the averages of things. You have to start, first of all, looking at that when you source it. So when you source an item and you know, who's going to get that giveaway real quick here? Zach, Treasure Chest. Congratulations. Thank you for being here. If you know that your starting price point is $5, okay, and you go to source, you pick something up and you look at it. As a reseller, as somebody in this business, when you pick something up, you instinctively know, hey, I could probably sell this on Whatnot for $15. In that ballpark. I pretty much would expect that if I start this at $5, people would bid it up to $15. And if the price on that item is worth it to you, that's less than $15 where you can make a profit off of that, then you buy it, right? And then that's what you put in your show. So the sourcing comes at the very beginning. All those decisions come right when you are buying. And even if, say if I'm going to pay $5 for an item and I'm going to start it for $5, you're right off the bat, the math isn't mathing, right? You're like, okay, you're losing money. Once they take fees out, your shipping supplies, you've lost money. Correct. But if I know that the intrinsic value of that item is around 15, I can be comfortable knowing then that people in my room also understand the intrinsic value of that item is around 15. Doesn't mean that's what they're going to pay for it. Not always. I had a show, the other Saturday show, and I don't know, one or two items went for $1 that were well over $1. I paid well over $1 for those items. But you have to look at the whole, you have to look at it in its entirety. I'm trying to, I'm almost at a loss for words in how to explain the concept behind the one price. Let me just gather my thoughts for 1 second. You have to be comfortable knowing that, first off, it doesn't matter what, good morning, some kind of Southern. It doesn't matter what you think the value is or what eBay says the value is, sold comps say what the value is. That's irrelevant, okay? That is just this hypothetical kind of, maybe it helps you make a decision when you buy information. When you get to Whatnot and you put this item on the screen in front of people, what the buyers feel the value is what's important. So what your job then as a seller is to do is to employ every possible method to increase the value of that item in your buyer's eyes. You're not gimmicky, you're not selling them something. You are helping your buyers form the value in their mind, right? You're helping them come to that conclusion of the value. This is part of the reason, by learning how to present items, how to talk about items, how to help buyers connect their feelings to an item, is more important than selling an item. It's not about selling it. So let's see. See if I can just grab something here. Let's look at this. All right, so we're just gonna pretend we have this. I have no idea what anybody in this room is going to pay for this. I know what I paid for it. I know what I can get for it on eBay, right? None of that's important. What's important is, what you are going to want to buy for this. If I'm going to start this at $5, I'm going to be like, hey, you guys, look at this. Look at it is hand painted, fully glazed. You can put food in it. You can use it for decor. Do you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the time I went to Hawaii. Has anybody ever been to Hawaii? Oh my God, you remember the flowers there? And you know when they give you that lei and it's beautiful and everywhere you look, it's so vibrant. That just what this reminds me of when I look at it, the vibrancy, and then you can picture the beautiful waters behind it. I cannot wait till my next trip to Hawaii, but you know what? If I had this, I definitely sure would be looking, it would make me want to save for that next trip. Okay. Tell how you can use it. One of my problems is the sourcing for the next year or so is done. Like, why not just continue on the bay? I definitely like the live aspect. If your sourcing is done at sunk cost, you've made that decision, the money spent, get what you can out of it. That's my, so what I'm trying to demonstrate here, and I don't know if that was a great item to do it or not, is I'm not trying to sell you the benefits of the item. I am trying to bring out your emotion to that item. Those of you who have ever been to Hawaii, wants to go to Hawaii, loves vibrant colors, loves flowers, can picture glistening water, is all of a sudden thinking in your heads, oh wow, yeah, that on my bookcase, oh, I got the perfect place for that. That would be so pretty with the sun hitting it right over here next to my window. And all of a sudden they want it more and more and more and more. And the more that your buyers want it, the higher that price goes, okay? So they're buying into the whole experience of what's happening. Dress it up, show how they can use it, explain all the good things about it. Remember, adults want the WIFM. What's in it for me? Everybody in your room wants to know, every single one of you wants to know what's in it for you every time somebody holds an item up. Why should I want that? Good morning. I hope you're doing good too, Lori. So when we're having things start at $5, and I was kind of trying to tie this back, it's not that there's an expectation of it selling for $5. The expectation is that people are going to connect to those items. So we go to the quality of your items, you know, the chips, the cracks. We can't sell our garbage on here. I have a problem letting go of things I love, and I'm hung up on that part of it. So that's a whole nother thing of, do you sell what you love or sell what you can get excited about? Take the Goodwill stickers off. Yes, please do. Please do. Even though the Hudson House, we have all missed a sticker in our time. Just saying, if you've ever missed a sticker and been shown an item and you were like, oh shit, guilty, totally guilty. I've done that. Not very often, but it has happened. Yep, I've seen it. I've seen it happen to them. So as much as we try, there's always that one dang sticker they hide in some spot you weren't thinking to look. So when you're starting everything at one price, you never expect it to go for that. Now let's talk reality. Get excited with profit, not the product. Okay, yeah, let's touch on that before we go into the reality of what actually happens in our shows. If you know what, take the love of what you sell and use that to sell the item. Let people feel your love and excitement for that item. The more excited you are about an item, and that doesn't mean jumping and screaming and, you know, all of that, but your passion for an item comes through and makes other people, ignites their passion and makes them want your item. Use it to your advantage. Part of that too is if you're like, oh no, I got to keep all of it, that may be something completely separate. That may just be I got to take some cold, hard look at myself at what I can and can't keep. Pick out what you want, put the rest in the sell pile, and then don't look back. That's my sell pile, and go through it. So I'm not necessarily one to say that you should only sell what you love. I think it's a stupid statement. I've heard people say sell what you love. I think it's stupid. Sell what you could be excited about selling. Sell what you can translate a passion, a like, a story about. It doesn't have to be something you love. Do I love all the vintage I sell? No, I don't love all the vintage I sell, but I'll damn get excited about every single piece because, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to turn around and make me money. Adulting is hard, Josie. Let's just face it. Being an adult is just why we all wanted to grow up so fast is beyond me. So let's talk about the reality of what actually happens in our show. So when we're starting something at a low price. When we first start doing that, we may lose money. It is very likely you are going to lose money in the beginning. Why? There's a whole psychological thing that goes in this at the very beginning. I can almost guarantee you that those of you who do not do one pricing right now, if you were to walk in and take a look at all of your inventory, if just pretend, okay, in your heads, just kind of do this exercise here. Those of you that price varying prices all over the board, let's just say for right now, you're going to do a $5 show. Everything starts at $5 and you're going to go look at your inventory. I can guarantee you 99% of you are going to go and pick the lowest value inventory you have out of fear that you're going to lose money. You're going to go. Now, how many of you are like, yeah, I probably would pick my lowest stuff? Do you think your buyers also know it's your lowest stuff? You can't auction things off that are worth $5, starting at $5, and think people are going to pay more than $5. It's not going to happen. This is like a self-fulfilling prophecy that happens here. Okay, I'm going to start low, but I'm too afraid to start valuable stuff low, so I'm only going to pull out my lowest value stuff, and then you say it doesn't work because nobody's bidding it up. I missed the beginning of the convo. Yes, one price. Daisy Lane says, I did it and it was frustrating. Look, I'm in the same trap. Like a lot of times I'll look at something, I'm like, oh, that's worth a lot of money, you know? So absolutely one price. One price across the board is easier for your buyers. I am a huge proponent of $1 starts. I don't think it should be any higher than that. But that's not for everybody. And I totally think, I mean, if you want to do 5, 10, 15, whatever your price point is, pick your price point. We're going to talk about your buyer pool in a second, though. I Love Discount struggles with it, too. It's difficult. Starting things, I mean, when I start everything at $1, perfect example, coming up later in random, we have a Fiesta Wear, very old Fiesta Wear. I Love Discounts was with me when I picked that up. They know what I paid for that. They know it's over $1. I'm starting it at $1, and there's a little part of me going, okay, I might not make a whole lot, but it's not about that item, just that item. I'm looking at everything as a whole. Any cow creamers today? I do not have any cow creamers today. I think I sold my last one the other day. It sucks to lose money, but look at the other metrics also. New buyers, new followers, average order value. Exactly. As a customer, I buy more of dollar starts. And Zek, there's a whole psychological reason with that. We talked, and I'll go into it a little bit more, but there is a whole psychological reason why people buy more at dollar starts or low starts, $3, $5. When you first start, though, your first couple of shows may not be as good. One, because of the psychological thing behind it where you're not bringing out your best stuff. So think about the quality. If you have a couple of $5 items, try putting them together. Instead of selling each individually, start to bundle those items. Put yourself in the buyer's shoes. If you see two $5 items together, your brain is instantly saying, okay, that's worth 8 to 12 versus that's worth 5. So now you're automatically ready to bid up and bid more. Why do I think sellers should only have one price? Because it's comforting to the buyer. Because it removes a barrier to buying. It makes it easy for the buyers. Auctions, typically, the way auctions are run, are usually one price. Things start with go to HiBid. Go online to any online auction, and they started $1, $5, $10, $20, $25. They're one price across the whole auction. Usually an auction house, either per auction or as a rule in what they run, pick one price. Decision fatigue. Thank you, Daisy Lane. Decision fatigue is real. Absolutely. Having to look at everything. It's easy for me to know. I don't have to do that mental math. As a buyer, if I come into your room and I know everything starts at $5, I'm looking through if you have your items pre-listed, or I'm trying to look on the shelves behind you, and I'm like, okay, everything starts at $5. Maybe things get bid up a little bit. Today I can afford 3 or 4 items. Yeah, it's worth it. Let's go ahead and do this. I'll pay some shipping. I can buy 3 or 4 things. Their price points are probably within my budget. But if they're all over the board, your buyers is one having to make a decision every single item. Can I bid on this? Can I afford this? Is this within my budget? If I pay shipping for this, can I buy other things? It's this whole math thing. This is one decision that you are removing from your buyer. Remember, removing the barriers to buying. Anything I can do to make it easier. No, in the shop is a place where I think you can have all different prices. So when we say shop, I'm assuming like if you click on whichever site it is and you go look at my shop, and then there's a marketplace. Those are the two places that if you want to mix it up, put your high price, low price, do whatever you want, put all those different prices there. When you're auctioning, you are going to get far better results having one price for everything across the board. Those of you here who have gone to doing a one price model, regardless of what your price is, do you feel it's been better for you? How many times do random sellers rerun something and forget what they ran it for? Oh my gosh, yes. Easier for me to sell and hit run with the same price. It is. It not only does it remove the barrier to buying, it makes it easier on us. Here we go. So Southern Charm does one price. She's like, yep, it's been easier. It's been better. See better results. Daisy Lane, look at that. 100%, absolutely. Away We Go Vintage. Forgotten Memories. The Hudson House. Everybody who does one price is going to ultimately tell you it works better. Crystal's Vintage. It works in their favor. You may lose money the first show or two until you get that mix, until buyers start to understand what to expect, till they realize that this isn't a one-off thing. This is no different than when you start dollar starts. You're going to lose money at the beginning. Just be prepared for it, but put the best quality items you can. Does that mean you have to run? I love discounts, like never done it differently, so it's hard to say, but never, wouldn't even go away from it to try because it works so well. Do you have to put all your bangers? No, but you have to have some stuff worth value. It's the same thing with when people go to do dollar starts. I want to, but I'm scared because I still often have shows of just a handful of people, such a hard spot. You don't have to have 1 million people in your shows. You say a handful, it takes 2 people to have a bidding war. 2 people have a bidding war, okay? And the more you do it, look, let's just break it down to the algorithm. Let's just look at it from that perspective, because there's a lot of different reasons why. But let's look at it from the algorithm perspective. When you do an even lower start, okay, so an even price, same price across the board, as low as you possibly can stomach going, the odds are people are going to bid on it, okay? And even if you don't have a lot of people in the room, the odds are people are going to bid at it. The more bidding, the more activity happening in your room, the higher you go on the algorithm, the more people that start to come into your room, the better chance you have of having that item bid up. That's just an algorithm perspective. What is Whatnot reward? Activity. They say so. If you go and look it up on help.whatnot.com, they say they reward activity. If you build it, they will come. Build a good auction, easy pricing, easy shipping, good pace. People will come and people will stay. Is it going to happen your first show or two? Maybe not. Things take time. Run it for $1 has become a joke in our house because we say it so much. Yes. 2 people bidding in my room yesterday and an item sold double the starting price. And Crystals has been building her business. This isn't like an overnight thing. She's been doing this show after show after show. You can't do it once and say it doesn't work. So think about the activity. You're trying to drive that activity to bring more people in your room, okay? I know all the Whatnot hosts this month, they've been talking about attracting buyers. One of the things to attract buyers is constant activity in your room attracts people to come into your room. I've seen so many shows with 15 viewers end up in shows with momentum because of the bidding activity. There you go. Who's going to get that giveaway? The Hudson House. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
It's the same concept that when people try to do dollar starts, they feel that same psychological of, I can't sell my good stuff for $1. Well, Robbins, first of all, best of luck. And I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you. I'm glad that you're finding it helpful. When people start doing dollar starts, they're like, oh, well, I can't sell my best stuff. So they bring out all their crap. Or you see this all the time. Clear the shelves, make room for new stuff, clearance show, leftover show, and I'm going to run everything for $1. Don't give me your crap. Nobody wanted it. And now you're going to try to sell it to me for $1, and then you're going to tell me that dollar starts don't work. They do work. Here's the other side of it. Low starts do not devalue your items. I'm hearing this a lot. I'm hearing sellers who are very popular saying, you can't do low starts. That devalues your item. That devalues your time and your item. No, it doesn't. Because you know what? Guess who values my item? The buyer values my item, not me. What am I devaluing by starting it at $1? You're going to tell me the value by how you bid it up. Now, if you bid it up really, really high, that means you guys placed a really high value on that item. If you don't, guess what that tells me? It's not a desirable item. You guys aren't really wanting it because you're not bidding it up. Maybe I shouldn't buy it next time. Now I've learned something that I can apply to my sourcing to source better, to bring more items that people are obviously finding the value in. Put the unsold stuff into a lot, increase it. How many people have tried this? I saw Southern Charm do this the other day. I know Forgotten Memories. I do it frequently. If there are 2 or 3 items that just don't sell in a show for some reason, I love discounts, put them together at the end and say, you know what? I have 3 items. Maybe they go together, maybe they don't, but we're going to run them off for $1. I did that the other day. I had 3 items. I tried running them for $1. Nobody bid on them. I'm like, okay, put them all together at the end. I ended up getting $6 out of it, which was $2 per item. I couldn't sell them for $1. At the end of it, I ended up getting $2 per item. I was happy with that. I don't want to keep anything. I don't want leftovers at the end of my show. I don't want to have to then move it back to another shelf, pull it back out for another show. That's more work on me. Yet people love a box of jewelry regardless. Good morning, Tripod. So I don't want that extra work. I would rather sell it to you. Now, Josie made a comment earlier like, okay, but I bought all this stuff. It's been sitting here for a long time. That's sunken cost. That's sunken cost. So you have a couple of choices with that. You could, let's look at the actual way we account for that. You took cash, you traded cash for an asset, for a piece of inventory. So you basically have cash sitting on your shelf right now. You have 2 choices. You can donate it, and whatever you paid for it becomes your cost of goods expense. That's it. Gone, out the door. So if you paid $5 for it, you get an expense for $5. Or I could try to sell it with the hope that it's going to bid up to over $5. If it's worth more than $5, there you go. The odds are with you that you're going to actually get money off of that item. Start it low, sell it for cash flow. Go buy better items. Go buy better items. Yes. Use them as a learning experience. So I'm a huge proponent of it. Just a really big low starts, dollar starts all the way. We have to think about the buyers. Put yourself in the buyer's shoes. How many times, and the other side, we didn't talk about it. My husband was trying to push me to talk about it earlier. I just wasn't ready for that part of it, is the shipping side of it. Here's the other side of doing an even start. Because when we think even starts, we think 3, 5, 1. We think the lower starts. They also have to pay shipping. Make sure your shipping is in line with the items that you're selling and the price point that you want. It's not, I'm going to figure out my price, I'm going to figure out my shipping. Oh no, that's a decision that's a joint decision. That's not 2 separate decisions here. Now, I'm going to preface this. There are many, 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 many people on this app that will tell you the buyers will pay all shipping. If they want it, they will pay for it. There is a ton of people in that ballpark. That is their prerogative, their business model. I do not believe in that. I believe that the lower the shipping cost is, I'm reducing the barrier to my customer buying that item. The other problem is if you've been trying to sell items for a while and are tired of them, it's hard. Exactly. If it's the 4th time I've shown this item, I'm already predisposed in my mind that nobody wants it. So by the 4th time I'm showing this item, I'm like, okay, here we go again. In my head, I'm like, be happy. Get ready for the disappointment. That comes through on the screen. You're so right, Crystals. It is hard to hide that disappointment that you're like, is mom and dad going to tell me no again? You know, when you go to show something. If your starting price is the sales comp price, you eliminated the bidding side of the auction. That's it. So Forgotten Memories. Before we get to the shipping, let me just write shipping here so I can come back to that, shipping and price together. I want to talk about your buyer pool. The higher your price is, the least amount of people you have in your buyer pool. I've done this visual a million times. So picture a circle. I can't make a perfect circle with my arms. This is everybody in your room right now. So all 66 of you here right now, okay? This is all of you. Now, if I run something for $1, pretty much all 66 of you are gonna like, that's cool. I can afford $1, okay? If I increase that to $5, now it's gone down a bit. Now maybe there's 50 of you who are like, yeah, I'm up for spending $5 today. Now if I say I'm gonna start something for $10, and I'm assuming these items are well worth that price. Now instead of 50 of you, maybe now 40 of you are like, okay, I'm up to spending $10 today. If I increase that to 20, we may be down to now 15 of you are willing to spend $20. The part of the reason why you don't get people bidding up your items when you're using these prices is that you're starting it at the value that it is. You've eliminated, you've gone from everybody in the room being able to afford something to down to just a little, and you're decreasing and decreasing till you get this very small circle of people who, one, can afford it, have that money to spend that day, so not even just economically can afford it, but have that money immediately that day to spend, and then who want it. So you have all these hurdles that you have to get over for somebody to buy your stuff. The more hurdles you remove, the more chance you have of selling your items. And isn't that why you're here? Aren't you here to sell those items? If you're here to get the top dollar for your items, this might not be the platform for you. If you only want top dollar, then spend your time to take photos, write descriptions, and list it on eBay or Etsy or some other platform. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. While people can make a good living here and get high value for things, it's still an auction site, and in auctions in general are a place where people go to get good deals. That doesn't mean you're cutting yourself short. That's just what auctions are in the nature of them. And I don't care. People will come on here and say, well, I want top dollar, and we can change perspective. We can make this where you get top dollar. That's not what auctions are. And this is an auction site. All right, I'm going on and on. I see a couple of pre-bids. I'm going to do these pre-bids, and then we're going to, I want to talk about pricing and shipping together, because that's the next step of this. The next step when you start thinking about this is you have to consider both of these items together. If you source good deals, then you can give good deals. It absolutely, mamas, it all starts at sourcing. Every time I buy something, look, I know my pricing structure is $1. I don't have to think about what am I going to sell it for when I pick it up. It starts at $1. I know this. When I go sourcing, I pick up an item, I look at it. Do I want to ship it? Is it going to fit? Is it reasonable to ship for me on whatnot? That's a yes or a no. If it's a no, it's usually an immediate put it back. There's certain characteristics, certain times I'm like, I can live with a little difficulty shipping. And then I say, what do I reasonably, in my head, if I start this at $1, am I going to be happy with it selling for 1, 2, 3, 5, 20, whatever it is? If I'm not, then I don't buy it. So if I pick up an item that costs $25, and in my head, I'm like, okay, you're going to start that for $1. Do I have a reasonable expectation that that item should sell for an amount over $25 that I would be happy with? If I'm like, no, you know what, on whatnot, that's about worth $25 and I'm going to pay $25, that's not the item for me. You have to look at it when you're sourcing it. So then where we source, anywhere I can get it cheap. That's right. That's right. I source anywhere and everywhere. Okay, you're going to try for tomorrow. All right. Use the seller analytics, which will tell you the average price you sell at, and then that should help you with how you 100% right there. Knowing your average order value is vital. It's vital. I rely on that a lot of times. I rely on the average order value, knowing that over the course of a whole show or the course of a whole month, my items on average sell for X number. That really does help me source when I'm looking at what I should pay for something. One start point. Pick one you're comfortable with. Pick one. And make sure your items are of a greater value than that start point. They have to be of a greater value than that start point. So think about this. When you start something at $1, it's really easy to find items at a greater value than your start point. And if your people aren't used to that, before you do a show like this, I wouldn't suggest just being like, okay, I'm going to do this. Boom. Talk to your people. Hey, everybody, do a couple of shows as you're having the shows. Guess what? I'm trying a new model. I would love to start everything at $5. Don't forget to bookmark and come to my show next Tuesday where I'm starting everything at $5. Talk about it. Build up to it a bit. Help your buyers get into that groove. Put your start point in your title. Everything starts at X number, whatever you pick, whatever that number is for you. This is already setting the expectation. This is telling people, oh, everything's going to start at $1. Everything's going to start at $5. I want to go check this out. This is part of that attracting buyers, of bringing people in your room, letting them know, oh, I like dollar starts. Whether you think this is bad or not, people will see, oh, I don't know, this is a smaller seller, or maybe not such a well-known seller, and they're doing $5 starts. I might be able to get some good deals in their room. You get 10 people all thinking the same thing, and all 10 of them show up in your room for good deals. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to start bidding against each other for those good deals. I don't care if people look at me and say, oh, you're a smaller seller, you're doing dollar starts. I'm coming in there to find something good. Come on in, right? You may lose money at first, but you're getting customers in the door. Target doesn't make money on every item. Exactly. It's a buildup. It's not going to happen. Look, if it happens in your first show, hallelujah, celebrate it. Be happy about it, but don't expect it. It takes a little time. I did dollar starts for probably 2 months before I started seeing things bid up to $3 or $5. I was looking, hold on. I sourced tons and tons overpriced, didn't factor in shipping. We're going to talk about shipping and sourcing and shipping and the price in just a second. So we'll talk about that. You may want to check your duck mini. Oh, thank you, Crystals, for helping. Thank you for helping each other out. All right, let's run these 2 items, and then we're going to talk a little bit about pricing and shipping as a combination. What do we have first? Oh, look at these. I got these from the International Man of Mystery. I actually got this from his wife the other day. That is one of my main sources right now, and I am loving buying from them. So these are, did I put that these were Homco? Yes, they are Homco. Good. I'm like, where did I see? We have a sticker right there. It does say Homco. So these are Homco. They are in wonderful shape. A lot of times you're going to see these metal sconces. So they go, there it goes. It looks like that on your wall. This is what the top looks like. So it hooks onto your wall. This is wood down here at the bottom. A lot of times you see these. I'm trying to center them. Hold on. There we go. Okay. A lot of times you see these and the metal is all scratched up. These are in wonderful condition, like almost brand new looking condition. Let's see here. Let's give you a size on these. The base part is about 4.5 inches, and then your candle part is about 7 inches. Yes, I love discounts. You know who it is. We're going to go ahead and run these. Shipping is $4.50 max, 10-second with a 5-second restart, and they are running right now, starting at $1. 2 beautiful sconces that you can put your little glass votive holders in there, or you could put tapers. They'd be so beautiful on your wall. Shalom, congratulations, those are going to you. And then we have our little resin doggies here. There are 4 different types of dog. Don't ask me. You are very welcome. Don't ask me. Oh, wrong way. I'm used to my camera being over here, so I set things backwards. Don't ask me what kind of dogs these are. They're adorable. They're adorable dogs. That's all I know. I do not know my dog breeds unless it's very, in my face. Some of them have a little bit of paint wear. They've been around for a while. But if you're, can we get them all in there? If you're a doggy lover, there you go. I'm pretty sure they're resin. Just guessing that they're resin, but pretty confident they are. You're going to get all 4 running right now. Those would be perfect for your printer trays. These would absolutely fit on your printer trays. And Shalom, congratulations. Those are heading to you. I thought I had a little box.
Thank you.
I don't know what I did with the box for them. All right, let's put that up there. Okay, let's talk about, yeah, I'm just all over the place. Okay, let's talk about now your pricing and your shipping together. This is where you start to harness 2 things and it becomes really powerful in your sales. So when you're doing dollar starts, okay, $3, $5 starts, the buyers aren't just paying that, particularly for that first purchase. So let's take $5 starts. If you're doing $5 starts and buyer pays all, depending on the weight of that item, that price for that shipping can be $4 something, $4.70. up to usually around $9.21, right? So if you're starting it at $5, let's just say the cheapest they're going to pay for shipping is $5, not PWE, that's a physical item. That's $10 already out of their pocket for that first purchase. If your item doesn't significantly exceed $10, why would you buy it? Unless you know there are like a bunch of other things that you want in that auction and you're going to max out that shipping. Okay? That's a hard pill to swallow for that first purchase. It's a very hard pill to swallow. Now, if you have a $5 item and it weighs a pound and the shipping is $9.21 for that item, now you're at $14. So now your item, the value that you hope your customer sees has to be higher than $14 in order for them to swipe on that item. I don't know what you're talking about. So you have to address the shipping with the price in there, removing the barriers to buying. Yes, the first swipe, Cheryl Crow says the first swipe is the deepest. There it is. Why are we thinking so early? Good morning. I know. Well, that's a lot of thought. Good morning, Height Normal Designs. So remove that barrier to buying. This is why all the people who say, I can't afford reduced shipping, that if the buyer wants it, they will pay it. I don't disagree that if the buyer really, really wants the item, they're going to pay the shipping for it. They will. I sell little Scrabble tiles on another site. Overseas, somebody will pay 30 cents for a Scrabble tile to the UK and $30 for shipping. Mind-blowing, stupidest decision in my head ever. But if you want to buy from me and pay $30 to ship, go for it. However, so people will. So I don't necessarily say that they're wrong when they say people will pay shipping for the items they want. But my goal is to sell items. My goal is not to sit on my items. The easier I make it for people to buy my items, the more items I'm going to sell. Okay? The easier it is for people to buy my stuff, the more of my stuff that I'm going to sell. So if you take that thought process, the least they have to pay in shipping, the more items in total are going to move their way out of my door. Additionally, every single person, I do not care who you are, every single person, when you go shopping, has some type of price in their head, some type of budget in their head. You may be, I have a $10 budget, or you may be, I have $1 million budget, but everybody has a price point in their head that's all they're going to spend. Do you want your buyers eating up their price point by the shipping you're charging or by how much they're bidding on your items? I would much prefer my buyers to swipe more and pay more for bidding than they do in shipping. At the end of the day, that's money in my pocket. I just heard a big seller say Whatnot will be crediting accounts without using flat rate when it changes to take effect. I don't find... Yeah, wise old bag lady, I would not listen to that at all. If it hasn't come out of Whatnot's mouth or in one of their announcements, I wouldn't listen to it. If they can't back it up, those are the comments that I get in the chat, and I'm like, really? Where did you see that? Where can I find that information? I would love to look that up. And then they start stuttering because they can't back it up. I see once a buyer gets to free shipping, they buy more to fill the box. Exactly. So it's twofold here. It's one, getting over that initial swipe. You've got to think about it's not just the price of your item. It's the price of your item plus the price of that shipping. And then once they hit that, they will buy more. So if you're starting something at $20 and it's $9.21 shipping, that buyer pool has just shrunk way, way down, right? In my head, I'm always thinking about the buyer pool. I want to make my net as big as possible. I want the most amount of people to be able to feel like they could bid and feel like they can afford the shipping. Other than that's what I know. Yeah, so then he probably didn't know. He was probably just making something up. Whoever it was, he or she, whoever you're talking about. And that's for everything in life. Yes, always fact check. So your shipping does matter. Here's the other thing. This is the example I use all the time. When you're looking at 2 rooms, okay, you're looking at 2, you're scrolling on your For You page, there's 2 sellers. You like both of those sellers. You enjoy their vibes, You enjoy the atmosphere. They both have really great products that you like. One offers reduced shipping, the other is max shipping. Will you buy from both? Probably you would buy from both over time, but what would you prefer? Would you prefer to pay shipping on everything? Or would you prefer reduced, possibly spending more when you know you don't have to continue to pay shipping? Which one would you guys prefer? As a buyer, and you're looking at two sellers, which one would you prefer? How do I set the shipping up? Becoming Vintage, I'm going to refer you to go see I Love Discounts. I Love Discounts. If you're still here, tag yourself. Or Southern Charm, if you can tag for me, I would love if you can do that, please. And they have YouTube, but they also do a ship show every Monday at 5, and they will walk you through. There they are right there, step by step by step. They will pull up a screen and take you all the way through it. Free shipping, reduced shipping before I buy. Free. Can you briefly explain the difference between the two different shipping methods? I believe you said reduced shipping versus combined. I'll talk about the different ways of shipping. Most, in general, we like to save money. Okay? I don't care who you are. It's very rare that you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to buy the most expensive option. Unless you're like into like, I got to have that name brand. Most people want to save money, okay? The reduced shipping works. Anybody who has done reduced shipping, not anybody, most people who have done reduced shipping will tell you that it makes a difference. Look, I know I am very stuck on this. This is my point of view. You will get the other points of view too, and I'm not saying they're wrong. They find what works for their business. Psychologically, if you have reduced shipping versus you have to pay all of the shipping, more people will gravitate going to a system that they pay less in. I see 921 as soon as I go in my first item, then I do not stay in the room. I'd still like a Rolex for $1 over 10K. Yeah, me too. That's where you need to go see Green 13. Okay, so the difference in shipping. So shipping isn't as hard as it is. On Whatnot, you can have buyer pays all, which means as a seller, I am paying zero. You as a buyer is going to pay every single dime of shipping. Now, Whatnot has really, really good shipping prices. So it's good for the buyer that the prices are so low. Okay. What is this? Oh, this is I'm like, wait, what is this? There are shipping videos that you can watch for I Love Discounts. That is their YouTube. So this is back to the person's question earlier. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Okay, so you have buyer pays all. The other shipping is reduced. Reduced, max, they're the same. They're interchangeable. They mean the same thing. Reduced or maxed means that me as a seller is going to set a price that you're going to pay for shipping, and you will not pay anything over that. Mine is $4.50. So when you buy something from me, you're going to pay that first $4.50, and that's it. I will pay all the shipping over that. You know what that encourages? People to buy more. People to fill their boxes, because once you see that free shipping, that means all money that they have available to spend that day can go towards bidding versus going towards shipping. Okay. Then you have free shipping, where it's the same as that's the seller pays all of the shipping and the buyer pays zero. I've done free shipping. I Love Discounts has done free shipping. Me and my husband are actually talking about whether we want to go back to free shipping. It's a conversation we're considering and having now. Not saying yes or no. It's something we're considering. I'm only a buyer, and I can tell you that if max shipping is set at $9.21, did I read that earlier? Won't even stay in the room. Okay, let's see who's going to get that giveaway. Forgotten Memories, you got that giveaway. Congratulations. So those are the different forms of shipping. I heard a seller the other day saying, and this gets under my skin. Oh, y'all, you want to see me get riled up? Here we go. This gets under my skin. There will be people who are huge proponents that buyer pays all. Again, if it works for their business model, that's okay. It works for them. But there are quite a few people who are big proponents, and a few in particular, who will tell you those people that do reduced shipping or free shipping are just gimmicks. They artificially increase their prices to cover the cost of shipping. Do some people do that? I'm sure there's people out there that do that. But the majority of us that do reduced shipping don't do that. I do reduced shipping and dollar starts. How is that rolling my shipping cost into my starting bids? It's not. What it is me understanding the psychological perspective and benefit that reduced shipping offers, and how that encourages and increases the bids that I get on my items, and that the less money people are spending on shipping means the more money they're spending on the items, and how I benefit from that as a seller. That's what it is. So to the person saying that, you're wrong. Someone forgot to tell you to inflate your prices. That's right. Exactly. I think 921 max shipping is amazing. I've sold on eBay for a few years, and priority is ridiculous. Whatnot has the best shipping, and you know what, you guys? It's getting better. Come August 1st, it's going to get better for the majority of people. Someone forgot. Yep. A lot of buyers want to see, and you're going to hear a lot of it, and this is really one of those things in Whatnot world that divides Whatnot. You're going to have people swear by reduced shipping. You're going to have people swear by buyer pays all. It is one of those great divides. I'm always on the side of reduced shipping. Why, if reduced shipping doesn't work, why does Amazon offer Prime? Why do I get everything free? Tell me, those of you who have Prime on Amazon, when you see those few items, like you want to order something really big and you see shipping pop up because it doesn't fit in the Prime, do you ever really buy those? I don't. If I'm a Prime member, I'm like, oh no, sorry, I'm going to keep looking for one that's in my Prime. I'm buying it for free. I'm getting free shipping on this. We are predisposed humans to this. So I believe that buyer pays all shipping is going to hurt people in the end. I think ultimately it stifles the business. You will have the people who don't mind paying all are usually the collectors. So if you're doing very high-end stuff, maybe it doesn't hurt you as much. Maybe you don't see it as much because your buyer may be more of a collector-based buyer. But I know who my customers are. A good amount of my customers are resellers. A good amount of my customers have booths and they're buying to fill their booths, or they're buying to sell on their Whatnot business, or they're looking and buying from me to go and resell on eBay where they can double the price and make money in that manner. Understanding your customer base also plays into how you're going to set up that shipping and that pricing. The other thing is getting over that barrier to buying. When you see $1 and $4.50 shipping, for me at the $4.50, that in your head is okay, $5.50. $5.50 is the cost of this item right out of the starting gate for your very first item. And then after that, the cost is $1 to get you bidding. That's a pretty low barrier for people to have to get over. That is not a whole lot of convincing in my head to swipe at that point. Or for yourself. We do have good taste, don't we, Shalom? I think we do. So let's let that sink in and we can talk about something else. Is there anything else on your guys' minds? I'm going to run these pre-bids while we kind of think about other items to talk about here today. I had some notes on branding if we want to go there. Let's go ahead and look at this one. This is absolutely stunning piece. Small but mighty piece here. This is hand blown, thick cobalt blue. Absolutely beautiful bud vase. Again, small but mighty here. 2.5, just shy of 2.5 inches. It is so beautiful to look at. That cobalt is so vibrant. You can tell that it is hand blown. It has a good weight to it too. Like it's pretty thick glass. That is running right now. Are you typically paying a lot out of your pocket on shipping when you offer reduced? Well, I will talk about that. I can actually give you the percentages of what I pay. I for Beauty, thank you so much. And just because you're here, I gotta say, I disagree. I disagree. No, thank you so much, I for Beauty. Let's take a look at this carnival glass. I've been slowly working through a carnival glass collection that I picked up. And this one is a sugar bowl, an unlidded sugar bowl. However, you don't have to use it as a sugar bowl. How cool would this look? First of all, look at those flowers. So granny core right here. But how good would that be to hold your toothbrushes? You could be fancy. It doesn't have to be some plain Target toothbrush holder. You can be like super fancy, or put your utensils in your kitchen somewhere. That is up and running right now. There is nothing wrong with it. It is an amazing carnival glass piece. That marigold color, 4 inches tall. And Dawn D's with the first purchase. Everybody throw some ducks in the chat and welcome Dawn to Zoe's Treasures. Thank you so much. He's going to mute me. All right, we have a paperweight here. And I don't know the first thing about paperweights, full transparency. All I know is I can say, oh, that's pretty. And this is a pretty one. Has a big old flower in there. The huge bubble that is the middle of that flower. I think it is stunning. Love the bottom of it. Love the coloring on it. It's really smooth with no marks on here. There's like a little tiny ding right there, and I don't know if that's intentional or not. There is just a little, I can feel it right there. But that is the only spot on the very bottom. I would say it's about 3 inches. It's hard to measure round things. Around 3.5. And that's running right now. We're going to put it this way so you can see it from the top. I think paperweights are so cool. Our graphics, my husband does all of the graphics for us. He runs them through multitudes of systems there. And my thank you so much. That is going to you. All right, we had 3 more pre-bids. We're going to run through those, and then we're going to talk about, where were we going to talk about? The price of shipping. I was going to answer that question on how much it cost us. This one's really pretty. You know what I love about this is that it has a stand. It's gorgeous. Oh, look at it. And you get a free piece of tape. Unless I take it off. Nope. Hold on. Well, I'll take the, oh, okay, no more free tape.
So the graphics, you can achieve the same result using a computer with a program called OBS. It's Open Broadcast System or software. And by utilizing that, you can have multiple cameras and also add graphics to your show.
My turn now?
Yes.
I was just waiting my turn. Get in the bubble. I know, get in the bubble. I love this one. First of all, look how beautiful that is. All along the top. He's like, center it. I don't know how to center it. There we go. It is gorgeous. But you know what the best part about this is? It's on a pedestal. That is silver plate, not sterling. Pedestal. I love it. Think about this for jewelry. All you jewelry sellers, here you go. A unique way to display some in your background. You get a little height, running right now. It stands about 2 inches off of the ground. Oh, 1.5 inches. Dogwood, I am technology challenged too. I can barely work my own remote control. Not lying. Shalom, thank you so much. If it wasn't for my husband, I would have none of this. Let's do this cookbook, and then we've got the Mommy I Teared It. Let's see. We're going to do the cookbook. I got so many cookbooks recently. Another pickup from the International Man of Mystery. So this one is chocolate mousse with the mousse on there. My son, totally off topic. My son, his name is Bruce, but we have called him Bruce the Moose since he was little. So for some reason, I always gravitate towards anything that says moose on it. But you have this one by Betty Porter. I don't know. I'm sure it is not super vintage. It doesn't look very old, but it probably has some really good recipes in here. 1986. So technically it is vintage. All kinds of different chocolate mousse recipes. Running right now. It's in great shape. Totally usable. Learn how to make some good desserts, and if you make them, then you need to send me some. That's just going to be the rule of this one here. Southern Charm, all right, there. Oh, Southern Charm, thank you so much. Now, next time you come to my house, I do expect some good, delicious treat. So that, just saying. Or next time I go down to Georgia. No, they're listed. These ones are okay. I'll put the stickers on later for it. All right, let's do this one and then we'll talk some more. Another lot of items that I picked up recently was these figurines. Figurines are hit or miss because they're really kind of like that granny core thing, and some are absolutely just stinking adorable and others are creepy. Like, I think some Precious Moments are creepy. This isn't Precious Moments. This one is adorable though. This is Mommy, I Teared It. Look at that. She tore her little dress, and that's the actual title there on the bottom. These are Enesco. Perfect shape. She is so adorable. This is not like, this is so true life. Like, if you have a little girl, that's side eye, I know. If you have a little girl, I know you have seen this look on their face before. And that's running right now, especially if you have a little girl that's kind of tomboyish, a little rough and tumble little girl. I had one of those. I had the very Miss Prissy girl, and I had the tomboy girl. Thank you so much for your bids. Shalom, thank you. Okay, let's talk a little bit more here about, we're going to run another giveaway while we're talking. Start giveaway. Okay, let's talk about the price. Somebody asked, how much does this cost you? If anybody else is willing to share their percentages, I never ask that people share actual numbers unless you're comfortable with it. Do not feel obligated. I will share percentages all day long of my shipping. So right now for reduced shipping, for me doing $4.50 shipping, my average is about 15%. Sometimes it's a little bit lower, sometimes it's a little bit higher. Over the course of the time I've been doing $4.50, I spend about 15% of my profit on shipping expenses. Southern Charm does 7% max. She spends between 10 and 15%. So that means for every dollar or every $10, I spend about $1.50 in shipping cost. There we go. Aaron Sphere is about 8%. Smaller amounts of items. Yeah, and in the beginning, if you're selling smaller, so think about this. I'm going to use this as a perfect example. This figurine here, once I put bubble wrap and put her in probably an 8x8 box, will come to about 14 ounces. So I'm still just under that pound for the most part, probably on this figurine. So the smaller the item is, that's going to hit around $478, $521 for the cost of shipping. So if I have a lot of these, then my cost is what's over that $4.50. So I'm paying anywhere from 50 cents to $1. Versus when I sell something bigger, like this is a lot heavier. This is definitely going to be a pound once it's packaged up. The cost for me is going to be the other half of it. It's going to be like $5 for this, $4.50, $5, over what the buyer pays. Where this starts compounding, less than 10% at $4 max of jewelry. I think I got all. What is Lori? Oh, what Lori's is, I do 920 max and usually spend 11%. This is important, you guys. Lori right there sells Rae Dunn, ceramic heavy Rae Dunn pieces. She does 921, spends about 11%. So we're here, we're kind of averaging anywhere from about 8 to 15, we're in that ballpark. That's not a lot of money. Now, for all of you who answered, if you know this number, or kind of ballpark it, how much do you think your sales have increased as a result of doing the reduced shipping? So for me, give you an example of what I'm asking. I spend around 15%. My sales have increased 25 to 30% easy because of the shipping that I'm doing. So I'm spending about 15, but I'm doubling that in the amount of sales, the amount of revenue coming in. So if you know that, that's the offset. So this is what a lot of people don't see when they start to say they're going to do the reduced. They say, oh, I can't afford to do reduced. Maybe make sure when you start the reduced shipping, you don't put too many big, exactly. Control your prices, control what you sell, you control the price of how much it's going to cost to ship. Can you show us how to do reduced shipping? So you do reduced shipping when you set up a show. So every time you go to set up your show, there's a little section about shipping, and it's going to ask you for 1 to 5 pounds, how do you want that to go? Over 5 pounds, how do you want it to go? I do flat rate and flat rate because that controls the cost on the front end. And then the next box is going to ask you, do you want buyer pays all, Do you want reduced shipping, and you can put the dollar amount that you're going to reduce it to? Mine's $4.50, so you can see other people's do $9.21, $7, whatever number you want. Or do you want free shipping? So it's when you go to set up your show, you pick what you want for that show. Aaron says, exponentially showed my face, lowered my shipping. It's real. It's a chef's kiss right there. Put his face on the screen, put reduced shipping on, and sales started skyrocketing. Flat rate reduced shipping at $4.50. That's how I do mine. I'm not saying that's right for everybody else. That's what works for me. Are you showing us here? Okay, so it's right down here. This is where you would set it up. Right there. So at the top, shipping cost. So you can either pick seller pays all, buyer pays up to a certain amount, or buyer pays all. That's where you set that up. Okay, and then you hit save for your show. Thank you, honey. And that's where you would change it if you do buyer pays up to a certain amount. So I'm more than willing to spend 15%. Now, is each person 15%? That is an average. My last show, I had somebody, $4.50 shipping, they bought 29 items. If you do reduced shipping, does it show up on your thumbnail? It does. If you have reduced, clicked where he just showed you on the screen, it will do a banner across the top of your thumbnail. Don's D, congratulations, you got that giveaway.
Congratulations.
Talk about adjusting on the back end and turning off the flat rate if needed. Absolutely, Crystal. We'll talk about the adjusting on the back end because that's where it becomes making sure you're doing the right thing. Let me just jot that down. So, I lost my train of thought. Oh, real quick. So, when I'd say 15%, sometimes for certain buyers, I pay a lot more than 15%. But you've got, again, you don't look at it sale by sale by sale. You look at it on average across the whole week, month, show, whatever you're looking at. What did it cost me in total? Lori, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you learned that. We'll talk about the CEO Challenge real quick. I'm going to side note real quick. If you guys don't know what the CEO Challenge is, we are on season 2. Lori and Forgotten Memories is here, was in season 1. Our CEO Challenge is a challenge we do 1 month out of every quarter. July is season 2, and it is where the people, the 6 or 8, this month is 8 participants, are challenged to do things in their business each week. So each week they get a new challenge they have to focus on in their business. Not about the show. It's about building your business and learning the concepts that we talk about all the time at Zoe's Treasures. They have to apply it, and then every Monday night we do a showcase where it's like a little raid train on Monday nights where we talk about, you get to hear from every single seller what their challenge is, how they're implementing the challenge, what's working, what's not working. They do a little bit of selling. And then at the end of the month, we have like the big showcase where they talk about what were my results this month from focusing on these challenges. And I am so happy the first season, every single participant saw improvement. They increased whatever it was that they were working on. And as far as I know, it was a fairly positive experience for everybody. Season 2, we now have 8 participants. They are starting. Crystal's Vintage Collection is here. She is in season 2. I don't know if I saw any. Josie's Junk in the Trunk is in season 2. Girl Friday Crafts is in season 2. If any of you are season 1 or 2, throw something in the chat. Let people know that you've either participated or that you are about to start. Today's July 1st, so it's this month. I love discounts, and this is our twist for this month. So something new. We're always trying to kind of keep it fresh and do something a little different each season. This season, I Love Discounts is joining forces with Zoe's Treasures. And at the end of every challenge night, we will be co-hosting. We'll be doing a co-hosted show, myself and I Love Discounts, where we will be giving live feedback to the participants. So what went well, what can they work on based on the challenge that week and whatever they were doing throughout their shows. So I get to play good cop, and I Love Discounts as bad cop.
8 sellers, growing, learning, building, through weekly challenges, building the business, not just the show. Welcome to the CEO Challenge.
Forgotten Memories. I love that idea. We are actually, I think I mentioned it before, we are going to do a reunion show. Just we need to give it a little time, but we will be doing a reunion show. J. Cole. So if you are interested in season 3, which is going to be in October, message me, and as soon as the applications come out, I'm keeping a list already. You'll get an application. Also, we have a at-home version. So if you just want to be like, hey, I just want to participate like in my own business, doing my thing during July, send me a message, say at home on it, and you'll get invited to a Dropbox, and you will get the weekly challenge every Monday, so you can do the same challenges within your business, and then you can tune in and be like, oh, I picked this metric, who else picked that metric, and kind of like start having those bonding moments, right? So that's our CEO challenge. Super excited about it. I am absolutely in love with this idea because I am very much about the business side of things, and this is just ties into learning how to have a business. Anybody can run a great show. Anybody could do that, but not everybody understands business. So no uranium gloss today. Our Time Antiques, though, I do a glow show once a month. It's usually the last Saturday of every month, or the third Saturday of every month. Check it out. I already have all my shows listed for the rest of the year. It is called The Glow Show, and I do nothing but glowy glass for that whole show. So feel free to bookmark that and come back because they're pretty cool shows. And Lori, thank you. Thank you so much. If I have flat rate box and someone buys 20 items and some items don't fit in the flat rate box, what happens next? Becoming vintage. I was just about to talk about that. So for example, I had one person, I did a primitive show on Saturday. They bought 29 items. Now I was thrilled. I love it. They bought 29 items from me. So I'm like, yes, this is great, right? Come time to ship, there's no way 29 primitive items are fitting in a flat rate box or in a 12 by 12 box. It wasn't going to happen. So what we do then, because Whatnot, in its wisdom, put them all in one box. So you unbundle. You click on the order and you say, okay, I can fit these 3 items in this box. You click on those items, you hit unbundle, moves it to another box. Then you keep unbundling and while you're fitting things in boxes. My buyer paid $4.50. Now this buyer was a very sweet and considerate buyer. And she's like, hey Tracy, here's a tip because I just bought a whole lot from you and I know shipping isn't too high. And that's not expected and it's not necessary, but it was a very kind thing that she did. So at the end of the day, I think I had 10 boxes we just dropped off for her. 10 boxes, which means that she paid $4.50 plus she gave me a tip, so it covered about 2 boxes. I paid for the rest of the boxes, $9.21 for every single. Some of them were a little higher because some were heavier of those boxes. However, keep in mind, she bought 29 items. The total amount she spent with me more than offset the shipping that I had to pay. This is where people are like, I can't afford reduced shipping. The increase in spending, the more that people buy for you, offsets the price that you're having to pay. Most people can't afford it. If you use your adjustments, how much does unbundling cost? So it costs the price of the box depending on the weight and where it's going. So typically $9.21 if it's a flat rate box. If it's less than a pound, it's going to be the normal price that it would be if you were just to purchase it on Whatnot, right? So typically around $9.21. If it starts weighing more, you're going to hit $10, $11, $12. Does unbundling take away? Yes, it does. Unbundling, I don't know about bundling. I've bundled twice in my whole Whatnot career. I don't do that very much. Unbundling, yes, if there's a cost associated with it. And with me, typically there is a cost because that $4.50 doesn't cover the full cost of one box. So the minute I create a second box, that's an additional $9.21. Will the adjustment charges impact max shipping? Will the adjustment charges impact max shipping? No. You're still, but when the adjustment charges happen on the back end, we'll talk about the difference between the front end and the back end. The back end is where you're paying for the shipping. So when you unbundle, you have 5 free adjustments. Either it's going to be covered, it's one of the things that's covered, or you're paying for it. It doesn't have to do with max shipping. If your adjustments are already used and you unbundle, will it charge at that time or when you weigh the actual box? It will charge when you hit accept, when you weigh the box. No, Crystal, let me correct that. Sorry, this is what happens. So if I have 10 items in an order and I want to take 4 of those items out, I hit unbundle, I select what 4 I want to take out. I hit then again, it's like it says you hit unbundle again, where you're like, hey, this is what I want to do. Then there's a pop-up, and Whatnot will tell you, based on the weight of those 4 items, this will cost you X number of dollars. You have to hit OK. So it's going to immediately charge you when that unbundles. Now you'll see 2 different orders on your shipping screen. Then I go into that shipment, and if I make additional changes to the weight or the box size that may result in additional charges, they're charged at that time. So when you unbundle, you can occur up to 2 charges: the unbundling, and then if you have to change the box size and the weight, then that would be additional charges if applicable. Why did I get 2 labels for 1 customer? Everything would have fit in a big flat rate. Max shipping is on. So Deb's Sweet Country Home, Whatnot system is what they call smart bundling. They will organize, and there could be 2 answers to this. So this is the most typical, is what I'm going to tell you first. Whatnot will automatically bundle or unbundle, like give you 2 shipments based on the weight you put in for the items and where that item is going, like what zip code it's going to. Whatnot is going to give you labels in the most economical way possible based on the settings that you put in to begin with. That's one reason. Another reason is if you use custom profiles at all, certain custom profiles do not mix with the regular settings in your inventory and could result in separate shipments. Now, I don't do custom profiles a lot, so that's as deep as I'm going to go on custom profiles. I would suggest going and seeing I Love Discounts for deeper information on it. I just shy away from custom profiles. I don't need them. I think Whatnot system is good in the way it is. Unbundling took away my free adjustments, but I had not saved or generated the label. I was trying to see what was going to be the most cost effective. If you accepted it, if you unbundled it and accepted that unbundle, then it's going to use it. Then that you used it. You can't like get it back at that point. So hopefully that's answering most of those questions. So the adjustments. Let's talk about how you're billed for shipping, because this is a point that I think a lot of people don't understand, and because shipping is not complicated on Whatnot. We make it far more complicated than we need to. It really isn't that hard. You put your stuff in the right weight, it's going to ship the right way. So set it up right, it's going to ship right. If I'm selling a 3-pound item, I need to put that weight in as 3 pounds plus whatever packaging. So 3.5, 4 pounds, put it in right, it's going to ship right. It really is as easy as that. However, the way Whatnot charges you.
Welcome in, Raiders! Grab your hats and step into Zoe's Treasures, where the relics aren't cursed. They are for sale.
Catches by Kathy, thank you so much for bringing your friends over. Y'all, my name's Tracy. This is Zoe's Treasures. We're doing a chat and sell, a little more chatting than we are selling at the moment. Thank you so much for coming on over. We do dollar starts here, $4.50 shipping. And Catches by Kathy, please, please, please put in the chat what you do, who you are, what you sell, when your show's on, all those details, so people who see that and like it can definitely give you a follow, and you all take a look at what she puts in there to see if maybe you can find your next favorite seller. Thank you so much. So if you put it in right, it's gonna ship right. But let's talk about how the shipping is charged. Probably my biggest complaint on Whatnot is their ledger system is a pain to work with. When you sell something during a show, somebody swipes, the sale is complete, they bought it. Immediately upon sale, the buyer and the seller is charged based on the settings. If it's buyer pays all, immediately that buyer's credit card is charged. If it's a reduced shipping, the buyer pays their portion, the seller is immediately charged for their portion of the shipping, right when that sale happens, okay? Immediately. This is why a lot of sellers who are doing reduced will do a flat rate setting, because it stops us from being charged more than $9.21 in any sale. Okay, so that's a way to control our cost up front while the auctions are happening. Then your show's over, and you go to do your shipping. So you pull up a shipment. Maybe you're unbundling. You're definitely, for every shipment, changing the weight. You pack everything up, you weigh that box, you make sure that weight is appropriate, and then you put in your correct dimensions. By changing the weight and dimensions, you may incur another charge, or it may be a free adjustment. So if it's a charge to you, You go down there to hit save, you hit edit and then you make your weight and dimension adjustments. You hit save. If it's a charge to you, a little box is going to pop up and say, hey, this change is going to cost you X number of dollars. You say okay, and it's applied, and then you can generate your label. When you say okay, that charge then goes to your ledger at that time. Those two things, so you are charged on the front end during auctions based on your shipping settings, then you're charged on the back end based on your adjustments. The charges that you're charged on the front end show up on your shipping screen. When you open up your shipping screen, there's a banner like along the top, a row, and it's going to tell you like total sales, estimated profit, and like shipping. So that's what you were charged during that show. That number doesn't change. That's what happened on the front end. Every time you hit OK because of a change for an adjustment, it goes straight to your ledger. So when you're trying to figure out your shipping, you need to look at both places. You need to add what's on your shipping screen and then add what's on your ledger to get the total cost of shipping for a show. This is where I think a lot of people get confused because they think just what's shown on that shipping screen is what they were charged. And it really isn't. It's at both places. What you see on your ledger for your sales already reduced out the fees and the shipping. So if you've noticed that when you do a show and you go look at your ledger and it says order number, blah, 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 earnings, $6.32, that's less already the fees, the shipping that happened during the show if you're paying any of it. It's not like a separate charge on there. Hope that makes sense. It took me a while to figure this out at the very beginning. I had to sit there and click back and forth and trace a few transactions through to be like, how in the world did Whatnot set this up? I think it's a little convoluted in the way that they show it, but it is what it is. So at the end of the day, if you're thinking about reduced shipping, I highly suggest do a few shows of Buyer Pays All to start with. Understand what your numbers are, and then go back and look at what you shipped for a show and say, okay, if I reduced it to this amount, what would that have cost me? Get a good idea and then implement if you feel comfortable with it. There should be enough wiggle room, even without an increase in sales, to do some sort of reduced. And then as you do reduced, I guarantee you, I would be flabbergasted if as you're doing reduced and you go on and you have a few shows after a few shows. Thank you, honey. That you don't see an increase in your sales. I'd be flabbergasted if that did not happen. Tax questions, that's my favorite topic, Graham's house. No, you never get credit for shipping. It's not like Etsy where you get like a pool that's your money. Not at all. Once you pay it, you pay it. This is why people control the cost on the front end. I use my basement for your show, inventory storage, and shipping station. Can I deduct that on your taxes? You absolutely can, Graham's house. So use of your home is deductible on your taxes. There's two different methods for doing that. It's actual or simplified. Simplified's the easiest one and covers the majority of people. So the simplified home office deduction allows you to deduct up to 300 square feet for your home, for the use of your home in your business. Now, the caveat to this is the IRS says that space must be used solely and exclusively for the business. This means that if you have a guest bedroom that you have, you like to go and do your shows in because it has a perfect light, or you like to take your pictures there, but you also have guests coming in, that's not a space that's solely and exclusively used for your business. However, if you have a basement, you can measure off the spot that is, look, this is where I do my business, right? 99% of the use that's happening here is business use. Then you can do that. One of where people get in trouble is a lot of people will store inventory on their dining room table, or they use their dining room table to run their shows off of. Then they clear everything off, and then it's dinner time, and family sits at the dining room table, eats their dinner, kids are doing their homework at the dining room table. Sorry, that's not deductible. I would suggest setting up a corner somewhere and creating a deductible space for yourself. Catches by Kathy, thank you so much. Our live seller links, if you guys don't know, since Catches by Kathy mentioned that, this is a product that we sell, and I probably do not even have them in here. I don't even know if I have them in here today. We don't. My husband can put them in if anybody is interested. I usually don't sell them on these shows. We have cards. I'll show you what they look like. They are kind of like the dot cards. So they look like this. This is our reselling roundtable. This is our Zoe's Treasure. So they are plastic. They look like credit cards. But what they do is one tap on the card. So all of your information, socials, it can link to products, any URL-based item can be programmed in here. He'll show you. Let's do it like this.
Have you seen the new Live Seller Link card? It is amazing. All your social media, your website, your selling platforms in one card. How convenient.
Share your seller profile, social media, and contact info, all with one tap. There you are. So thank you, Kathy, for saying that. We do sell those. He'll throw them in the bin for you. Can you put those in the bin if you're... I normally usually list them on Fridays, but thank you so much, Lilies. I appreciate that. So they'll be in the bin in a minute if you guys are interested in those. We also have keychains and phone tags. I have my phone around here somewhere. So we also do little tags to put on your phone because you always have your phone in your hand, right? So that's an easy way. So back to shipping. I like the phone tags too. That's the one I use the most because I always have my phone. So we were talking about adjusting. Crystal asked, so I make sure we talk about adjustments on the back end. So we talked about how the prices, how the costs get on your ledger, front end, back end for shipping. I highly suggest it. I can't say enough about it. If you choose not to do it, there's nothing wrong with choosing not to do it. The one thing you do not want to do, and is what I was referring to earlier, is, okay, I'm going to do reduced shipping, but to cover my cost, I'm going to go increase all of my prices. Your buyers will see through that in 2 seconds. They will instantly see right through it. The other thing is, with these shipping changes that are coming in August 1st, we're going to have to buy more boxes, right? Fact of the matter. Flat rate, we can't use those. Priority prices are going up, so how much we're going to be using those is yet to be determined. But we do know at the end of the day, thank you so much for purchasing from the bin. At the end of the day, we're going to have to buy boxes. I want you guys to spend a minute and look at your shipping cost. There's been such hysteria and panic, but take a look and see. Oh, look at that. He's even throwing flash sales. Didn't even ask me. I'm the boss. He didn't ask me. I'm totally cool with it though. Take a look at your shipping cost and see between 1 and 5 pounds is going down by $2.01. If you are a seller that the majority of what you sell is between 1 and 5 pounds, this is actually a benefit to you. I offer reduced shipping, but I also want to sell a vignette that weighs 6 pounds in total on my show. Is it okay to offer single shipping on that? I wouldn't. I would just assume the cost of that. And there's no way, if you're doing reduced, that's going to apply to the whole show. You can't just do specific shipping. If there's something that you're like, I can't pay to ship this, will the shipping prices be based only on weight or also on measurements? Old Made New Creations, both. They always have been based on both. They always will be based on both. That is a USPS thing. It is not a whatnot thing. So, all right, let me answer the first question, then I want to get back to measurements because this is another dividing one of those things on whatnot. So, if there is something that you want to sell that you're just like, I can't pay the shipping on this. I wanted to reduce, but this one, no way, not happening. Put it in your marketplace. I have a lamp. I have some big, huge pieces that I have in my marketplace that probably going to cost about $60 to ship. I'm not really happy about paying that price. So they're in my marketplace. Every now and then, when I'm feeling in a really good mood, I'll slip them into a show and be like, look, if someone's willing to pay this price for it, they're usually in my bin though at a decent price, I'll be more than happy to ship it. Hasn't happened yet. But I would just make that your one item that's overweight, one item, and make sure everything else you have is of a reasonable weight and it averages out. It's not going to hurt you that much. You already ordered boxes. Awesome. So let's talk about, will the prices be based on weight or also on measurements? Thank you guys for your purchase from the bins. I appreciate it. It is always, what you were charged is always based on weight and dimension. Whatnot has the standard dimension of a 12 by 12 by 12. So the calculated prices, the 921, all the prices that we see on Whatnot are based on a 12 by 12 box or smaller. So you can use up to that size. Once it goes past 12 by 12 by 12, additional fees apply. There are a large group of sellers who will tell you, there are sellers who sell information to you that is incorrect. First of all, I need to call out Blasian Bunny is not one of those sellers. I made a comment the other day about the sellers selling bad information on shipping. She is not one of them. You can trust her information. She is good. I do not want to lump her into this. I didn't say that, and then I felt bad about it because I'm like, I don't want anybody to have a bad impression of her. So now that I've cleared that up, there are other sellers selling incorrect information that tell you, yes, she is amazing, that tells you not to change your dimensions. They are incorrect. USPS, if you go to their website, it tells you to change your dimensions. If you go to help.whatnot.com, it tells you to change your dimensions. Right now, they are not penalizing you because of it. So a lot of people say, well, if I don't get penalized, I'm not going to do it. It's Whatnot that's not penalizing you. If it's caught while it's shipping, your customer is getting charged that. Or the charge is going back and Whatnot's paying for it. Somebody is paying for it, and people who are not changing it are just scamming the system. So I will, till my dying breath on Whatnot, promote you have to change your box sizes. It is the only right way to do it. And coming soon, Whatnot's already told us it's going to be one of the factors that we will be charged for. So they are cracking down. The people doing it wrong will start to feel the pain and the pressure of that. Yep, I had to send a package back. I was like, I already paid. Exactly. So, and this may be new. So Addict Shares, I'm not like your comment doesn't surprise me because there is a huge prevalence of very popular shippers selling information and telling people do not change the dimensions on your boxes. Let's just think about this first of all, in the sense of what does it do to you as a small business? The people who say this and create a lot of this information are typically the larger sellers, and then people see them because they have wings and they're a big seller and they look up to them and they follow them. So it's the smaller sellers that are actually getting hurt more because the larger sellers are sending out thousands of packages a week. If they have one or two buyers that end up having to pay and get mad at them and never come back, it doesn't hurt them very much when you're sending out thousands of packages. I send out about 150 to maybe 30 or 40 customers a week. If just one of my customers gets burned because I don't do something right, I feel that. That affects my business because 1 out of 30 or 40 is far different than 1 out of hundreds. Okay, so the smaller sellers are feeling the sting of it. They can't absorb it as much. That's if the buyer ends up having to pay, they get pissed off and they don't come back. Now, think about this. If I were to do it wrong, one of my customers had to pay, they get pissed off at me and they say, I'm never going back to you. You don't do this right. I lose a customer. What if they also say, screw Whatnot, nobody there knows what they're doing and they leave? Now my bad behavior has lost a customer for the app, which means I may have cost you one of your customers. So these people doing it wrong are not just hurting themselves and the people that follow them, they're hurting every single one of us with their actions. This is why I'm so passionate. Exactly, your reputation means more to you. This is why I'm so passionate about, I'll get on a soapbox about it and say, you have to change it and do it the right way. I don't care if Whatnot's not slapping your hand right now or if you don't get caught that often, you will, and you're hurting yourself, your business, and everybody else on this app. All right, that's my soapbox. That's that. Are there any other questions? We're going to move over and do some sales here in a little bit, but we can answer a few more questions. We can talk about a few more things. I see on the socials the whole get lumped into the negative, even if doing it right. And that's what happens. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? So it's these people crying, look what happened on Whatnot, I got scammed. And then all the good things, all of us and the great products and the fun experiences and the friendships that are made go by the wayside because all you hear is people complaining about how they got scammed. You hear the bad stuff and it hurts all of us. How do you change dimensions? No, it's really easy. So stick with Jess. Yes, the phone tag is not, it works the same way. The function is the same. The keychain looks like this, but it will have a little sticker that looks like the phone tag. And then the phone tags go on your phone. So the keychain will have that sticker on the
Congratulations.
The keychain will have that sticker. There you go. I can't talk. I can't talk well.
To answer the question, the functionality on the card, the sticker, and the phone tag is the same. The convenience of one versus another depends on what you want to do with it. If you want to carry it on your keychain, or you want to place it on your phone, or you want to keep it in your wallet, the functionality is the same. The only other difference is that we create a
Get in the bubble. They're asking who's talking.
we create a design for you based on the logo that you have on Whatnot. And the person that is speaking is the wizard.
That is my husband. He's supposed to put himself in a bubble up here on the top, but he doesn't, and he's supposed to.
I don't have the bowl ready.
Oh, because he just doesn't have it ready. I just personally but wanted to phone tag. We'll change it. We'll change it for you, Lola. We'll just change it on the back end for you. You want to make a note of that, honey? I just wrote it down too.
Okay. You want the
No
phone
problem.
tag instead of the card.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We'll just change it on the back side. Don't worry about it. I think they're the same price.
Yes. Lola, can you do me a favor? Can you check your DM? I just sent you a DM.
Okay, so somebody said, how do you change your dimensions? And then we're talking about changing the dimensions down also. To change your dimensions, it's super easy. When you're on your shipping screen, you're
Robin, yes, we'll change yours too.
And Robin, let me just write that down here. I'm making notes of it. When you're on your shipping screen on a computer, you click on the shipment, you click on Bob's shipment. On the right-hand screen, it's going to pop up, and you're going to see details about that order. You hit edit. Once you hit edit, it opens it up where you can change the weight, and directly underneath the weight, you change the box sizes. And then you hit save edit, save changes. It's as simple as that. It's just a couple of clicks. Now, do you change a box size down? Default is 12 by 12 by 12. Shipping 6 by 6 by 6 doesn't change the price. You are absolutely correct. Are they expecting exact dimensions anyways? Up until now, the answer has been no. Changing anything less than 12 by 12 by 12 was not required. And it's actually not required at the moment. However, there's a couple reasons why you may want to. If you just leave it 12 by 12, but it's actually a 6 by 6, and you ship it and it gets lost, and you have to file a claim, the post office is looking for a 12 by 12 by 12 box. It's going to make it harder for them to find your package. That's one reason. And I'll be completely honest, that alone wasn't enough for me. I wasn't changing them down. What has got me to change it down is that now that they're going to be charging for all of the missed dimensions, weight, that they're looking more at the sizes now. The USPS around the country is implementing machines where they will be able to scan dimensions and size. And I'm not going to take any chances of having anything misrepresented or wrong. So I'm changing mine down now. I haven't for the longest time, but over the course of the last 2.5, 3 months, I've switched to doing that. I can only see that's coming in the future. Part of the reason for this, that I think it will be one of those things we're going to be charged for in the future. This is purely my opinion right now. What I'm giving you is my opinion, my thoughts. There is no support for this. It's just what's in my head. Is that when you look at the USPS, part of the reason the dimensions are important are for them to figure out how much space they have in trucks and planes. And if everything's 12 by 12, they end up reserving space that's not used, thus it costs them money. So as we move towards this being more exact, Whatnot also says when we do our scan pictures, they have technology that could estimate the size of the box from that scan picture. So all of that is telling me that the size is going to become more and more important, not just over the 12 by 12, but also under. And I'm going to just prepare for anything that happens in the future. I would rather start to implement systems in place and get used to it so it's not a big shock if that were to occur. And if it doesn't occur, it's not really hurting me. It's part of my normal system now. So that was my opinion, what I think is going to happen. There is no support that I have read on that yet. That's just kind of looking at everything and trying to pull some pieces together. But there you go. There's reasons to do it and not to do it. They're just cracking down. It's coming. Everything is getting more and more specific. So the better we are with our specifics, the better you're going to be in the long run. The other thing that we've been doing, Southern Charm suggested it to me. I know Natural State of High does it. And I know many other people do it. Is when we take our scan pictures, we take them on our scale so you can see the weight and the label at the same time. That's the only proof that you will have if you have to dispute something. So when these charges start to appear on our ledger for anything that's off, that's your only proof. If not, it's just a he said, she said deal. And who do you think's going to win a he said, she said? Probably not the seller. So we've been doing that. It's not as hard. It doesn't take much time to do it. You got to take a picture anyways. So, but any other questions before we move on? I think we're going to move on and do our random items. I wonder how picky they're going to be for the box dimensions, if a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch is going to matter. I have no idea. Because Southern Charm, that's such a great question, because we all know that with the weight, ounces matter. If you say it's 6 ounces, but it's really 10 ounces, you're going to be charged the difference. Like, we have to be as exact as possible, to the point where I actually pad a couple of ounces. If mine says 10 ounces, I'm going to say it's 12, just because my scale might not be calibrated exactly like the post office scale. So if they're going to be so picky on ounces, I wonder how picky they're going to be on dimensions. Yeah, 12 by 12 boxes are like 12 and a 1/4 or 12 and something. They're off a little bit. It's not, because you got to get the thickness of that cardboard in there. You've been rounding up too? Yeah. I don't know. I had one instance right off the bat. Some of you have already heard this story. Well, right off the bat, when they started putting those charges, showing us what they were, they're not charging us yet, but they're showing us like, hey, just so you're aware, if we were to charge you, this is what your stuff looks like. Right after that happened, like the very next week, I had 2 shipments to the same person. They were 4 pounds and something ounces. They were in brown boxes, like 412 or something. So they were in brown boxes, and they came back and said, your boxes weighed 20 pounds each. 2 of them. I'm like, there is no way those boxes weigh 20 pounds. Luckily, I actually did have the picture on the scale that I was able to say, look, I've got proof. Those didn't weigh. I went back and forth with whatnot for quite a while. Basically, at the end of the day, they would not remove them for me. They said I can dispute it through USPS, but it really wasn't even on my, like, I wasn't charged for it, so there's no reason to go through a dispute. I just wanted it removed. I did, 4 to 20. I didn't want it on my record. I'm like, look, this isn't true. I don't even want a history of this, because what happens if I have to dispute something in the future? They're going to say, well, you have a history of this. So I didn't even want the bad perception on my record, right? They wouldn't remove it. Whatnot basically just said, we're not charging you. We're not doing anything about it. So, and I left it. It got to a point that it wasn't worth fighting. Yeah, USPS said it weighed 20 pounds, and there's no way. Luckily for me, I took pictures on the scale, and they were pre-listed items, so I had pictures of exactly what was in the box, where I can say, look at the pictures of what I even sent. Like, it doesn't even logically make sense that these would be 20 pounds. So, Coastal Peacock Co., thank you so much. Honey, you're not paying attention. We got a raid, my love. Are you going to play our graphic for us?
Welcome in, Raiders! Grab your hats and step into Zoe's Treasures, where the relics aren't cursed. They are for sale.
I had to keep him on his toes. I don't know what he's looking at over there. He's trying to create some graphic over there of something else. Coastal Peacock Company, thank you so much for bringing in your friends. I appreciate you. Y'all, my name's Tracy. We are doing a chat and sell. We're about to do some more selling in just a second. Everything starts at $1, $4.50 shipping. Coastal Peacock, please put in the chat who you are, what you do, what you sell, when you're on, all the details, so anybody who likes what they read can give you a follow. Thank you so much. You guys, I am going to mention, since Coastal Peacock Company just came in, Forgotten Memories. I saw a Tripod earlier. I could have swore I saw Tripod's name earlier. They run what is called Watering the Seeds. Watering the Seeds. Yes, that's right. Watering the Seeds. And it is like a community. It is a free community that you can join if you are interested. Please reach out to one of them if you are. But it's just about a community of people that support each other. There's group chats, encouraging group chats. There's specific raid trains. And it's really about coming together and supporting each other. So it's pretty cool. I Love Discounts and myself have just recently kind of joined up with their community. But definitely, there you go, watering the seeds. For some reason, a garden was in my head, the word garden. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not getting this wrong. So reach out to one of them if you are interested, please. Bringing like-minded people together to help each other. There you go. So I wanted to mention is seeing your name and forgotten memories at the same time. So even though I didn't pay, I told them I didn't want credit, just wanted them to be aware of the PO was wrong. Oh, Bettina, let me go back up. You had one to 6 pounds to 26 pounds, different dimensions. I didn't get charged, but worry about it. Yes. So protect yourselves as this stuff comes down the road. I think I started to talk about earlier about if you're doing the 1 to 5 pounds as we move forward, if that's like your main shipments, you're going to be saving $2. That $2 more than offsets the cost of boxes. So keep that in mind as we move forward into August. Don't panic. It's not the big deal that everybody thinks it is. It's just a change. Are you good over there? I hear him sighing. He's just, something's wrong. Are you okay? We're good. All right. That's where the garden was. I've forgotten. I knew garden was in my head. Sometimes I think it's age. I think honestly, y'all, getting old just is not what it's cracked up to be. I wish I was 30 again. All right. With that, I'm going to switch over to selling a bit here. So about 15 minutes. I've got some random items. You too? Man, I feel it. I feel it all the time. So let's go ahead and switch. We did run some pre-bids throughout the show, but I have started on my Mondays and Wednesdays at the very end, kind of holding off for people who are interested in anything they may have seen behind me to run some random items. So let's go ahead and do that. Hang out with us too. If there's still questions, we're going to keep chatting. I'll still answer questions. I'm not just going to, sit here, but I got a little bit of time. So let's do some randoms. We are going to do everything up here. Let's start with this one. This is probably the coolest one of the day. This is Fiesta Wear, you guys. Sugar and creamer in the prettiest seafoam green color. Just a little bit. We're only going to be selling. I only got like 5 items. It's not a whole lot, but we have a few. But look at this Fiesta Wear. It is in mint condition. There is nothing wrong with it. The color is everything. It is a seafoam green. You do have your Fiesta Wear markings there on the bottom. You get the sugar and the creamer. They are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And we're going to run that for $1, $4.50 shipping, 10 seconds, running right now. You're going to get that whole set. Thank you so much for your bids. And 10 Mile Studio, congratulations. That beautiful set is heading to you. I do need to put a sticker on that one though, because that is random. We're just going to twist and turn in my chair here. All right, let's do this one up here. Look at this piece. This is cool. This is so Pennsylvania Dutch. This is all about not where I'm from, but where I live. I love the wood. Think about putting a big old plant in here. You can use it for mail. What a nice way to drop your mail in so it's not spread all over your kitchen counter like mine is. That was a great deal, wasn't it? I'm so happy they got it. There is a little bit of wear on the back here, but you have gorgeous hand painting. You can use it for so many things. I love the whole mail idea because mail is what drives me crazy in my house, all over my kitchen counters. It stands 12 inches tall. You can see you can hang it up. He's yelling at me to put it down so he can show it from the top. That's running right now. I am I'm by York, so about an hour south of Harrisburg. Oh, speaking of, we have a Pennsylvania meetup coming up. 10 Mile Studio, thank you so much. That is heading to you. We have a Pennsylvania meetup, you guys, and I have a date, time, and location. We are making progress. So, October 3rd. October 3rd is the date of the Pennsylvania meetup. You don't have to be from Pennsylvania. You can be from anywhere. You could be from California or Hawaii if you want to travel here. If you want an excuse to travel to gorgeous Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's going to be in Harrisburg. I found a community center that is very reasonable. It is on October 3rd from 9 a.m. to approximately 3 p.m. The morning hours are going to be, we're going to have some general sessions and some breakouts. We will be offering like a light breakfast and a catered lunch. There will be a price. Very shortly, I'll probably be setting it up in the bin to sell tickets through Whatnot. That way, everything stays on the platform, easy to track. You get receipts, I get a record of it, makes it nice and clean. I'm trying to aim for $25 per person, but that would cover to help pay for the venue and all of the food that we're offering that day. Totally cool. If you guys want to be notified as changes, as like we solidify the schedule, if you go to my website, which is zoestreasures.com, there along the top it says PA Meetup, and then you can sign up on that page to be on an email list to be notified of like the schedule or any big things about that. Some of the people that will be there speaking that day is Dragonfly Neen. Oh, there's my husband. He's going to get in the bubble. He's did himself a graphic. Some of the people that'll be there that day are Dragonfly Neen. I Love Discounts will be talking, and Green 13 will be talking. So you're going to get some really good experienced people. I'm also, we're playing around with possibly other people doing some breakouts. Still trying to check out all those details. So I'm excited for the meetup too. October 3rd, you guys, October 3rd, 9 to 3, Harrisburg. It's 11 miles from the Harrisburg airport, and there are hotels within a couple of miles of the location. Pretty excited about it. So, okay, what else do we have? I don't think, what do I have listed? So I'm not grabbing my listed stuff. Okay, let's do this piece. You guys, you want elegance, you want swans. This is like fancy, fancy. Let's see if it glows. This is a toothpick holder. It is a milk glass toothpick holder that has swans on it. And I don't know if it has any green glow to it. Oh, it does. Check it out. That's old milk glass. Can you switch for me? And it has, look at that green glow on there, so you know that's older milk glass. It is a toothpick holder, and those are the swans. Look how beautiful it is all the way around. It is in wonderful shape. We're going to run that for $1 right now. No chips or cracks. Up and going. Beautiful toothpick holder. And I got to move this chair out of the way. It's bugging me. Southern Charm. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this meetup. This is not Whatnot sponsored. We're just putting it on. A bunch of us kind of got together and said, we want to do a meetup. We want one in this area. So we're trying to make it not just like people get together and talk. There's going to be some, like I said, some breakouts, some general sessions. We're trying to find some other fun things to kind of add into it. So definitely check it out. We're going to have space for about 100 to 125 people, give or take a few of those. Let's do, oh, this is so cool, you guys. This is so old. Look at this girl here. This is, it says Japan on the bottom, but it's like old school bobblehead, blue and white piece here. It is totally porcelain. And look at her go. Can we switch our camera, please? Look at her go. She wobbles. You get the base and it's on like a wire. I have never seen anything like her. How stinking cute is that? She's in great shape and she's really old. It does say Japan down there on the bottom. Does it say something else? There was maybe a sticker or something on the inside of her dress. If you collect blue and white, just how sweet is that? Is that a chip? Is that her hand? Oh, her little hand may have a little chippy right there. I'm just noticing that. We're going to run her. Right now, she's making me dizzy though. Okay, there she goes. Up and going. If you're interested in a cute little old school bobblehead girl, porcelain. Thanks so much for taking a look at her. She is too cute. Let's run this piece out since I showed you earlier, honey. He is just doing everything but his job over there.
Thank you.
Now he's huffing and puffing. He's like, don't call me out. We're going to go ahead and run this piece. Should I do my whole thing about how this reminds me of Hawaii again? Absolutely stunning. Fully glazed wood, but really look at the vibrant flowers. That is talent right there. That is somebody's artwork all around this. It is fully glazed. It looks like they set it on something when it was wet, unfortunately. We're going to run that for $1. I love, love, love the colors on this guy. 10.5 inches. So beautiful. It is so bright and happy, isn't it? Think about like your Taco Tuesday nights. I think this would be a good decor for your Taco Tuesday nights. And because it's fully glazed, you can actually put like some salsas in there, just some green salsa, some red. Vault of Interesting. Thank you so much. That is heading to you. Let me grab that label for it. Maybe, maybe not. That was going a little too slow for me. All right, you guys, I think we pretty much hit on, I think I pretty much got everything there. Thank you so much for your purchase from the bin. Y'all, we are going to go. We're going to raid somebody. What day is it? Wednesday? Who's our Wednesday person? We usually have the same kind of schedule of raids going on. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out and talking with me and for buying and for being active in the chat. All of those things matter. So thank you so much. We're going to find somebody to raid. Next time I am on is Friday morning, our business talk. It's going to be a good one. Not sure what we're talking about yet. I'll have to go check the schedule. And since I have not wrote my notes, but we will be back on Friday morning at 7 a.m. We'll see you then. Let's go to green 13.